Glad to have your company on Prime TV News this evening. I'm Iftia Abdul Kader. A look at your headlines first. Britain is optimistic that the president has the ability to surmount terrorist challenges from Sri Lanka. Prime Minister assures to rout ISIS terrorists from Sri Lanka. Search operations continue in many areas. And on news overseas, Cyclone Fani makes a landfall in India's east coast. And now for the news in detail. British State Defence Minister has said that the incumbent president has the ability of eliminating the present terrorist challenge from Sri Lanka. Ben Wallace expressed this view during a meeting with President Maithripala Sirisena. UK State Minister for Security and Economic Crime, Ben Wallace, who is in the island, met the president this morning. He was joined by Tom Byrne, Director General of the UK Office for Security and Counter-Terrorism, and Deputy British High Commissioner Tom Hurd. Expressing his views at this meeting, UK State Minister for Security and Economic Crime, Ben Wallace, said it has already been confirmed that this terrorist attack was part of the Islamic international terrorism. He pointed out that Sri Lanka needed international support to face such a global terrorist organization. The State Minister said that as the British government committed to identify terror threats and risks, a joint investigation centre should be established to gather information from all indigenous groups, and that the British government is ready to extend support to Sri Lanka in this respect. Reconstruction of St. Sebastian's Church at Katuwapitia in Negombo, that was devastated due to the terror attacks on Easter Sunday, commenced today. It is a joint effort by the Sri Lanka Army and the Sri Lanka Engineering Corporation. Reconstruction work on Sebastian's St. Anthony's Church in Kochikade, that was damaged in the terrorist attack, is already in progress. The main construction is handled by the Sri Lanka Navy with the support of the State Engineering Corporation. In the meantime, the reconstruction work on the Zion Church in Batikalo is being handled by the Sri Lanka Army and the State Development Corporation. The grants required for this work are supplied by the Ministry of Housing, Construction and Cultural Affairs. The aim is to expeditiously carry out the construction with high standard and better than the church was there. Search operations are still continuing in the island. The police, the Special Police Task Force and the armed forces have joined in these search operations. Based on a tip-off received by the Army, the house of a hospital security officer in the Pulmote area was searched. The defense sector said that they were able to recover 89 detonators, 2 detonator charges and 8 liters of water gel. The main suspect had fled the house while his brother was taken into custody. 13 suspects have been taken into custody along with a 12-bore gun, 12 knives and a video camera during a special search operation carried out in the Kandy and Wattegama police divisions. The police Special Task Force and the Army joined in this operation. Comprehensive investigations are being carried out with respect to the suspects. A motorcyclist was apprehended with a firearm in the Katuwana area in Hikkadua. A motorcyclist riding the bike with a firearm was injured after it got fired. The incident happened in the Katuwana area in Hikkadua. The injured cyclist was admitted to the Karapitia hospital while the other was arrested. The police also recovered from the suspects 2 locally produced firearms, 6 live bullets and 2 mobile phones. 10 knives hidden under a culvert near a shrub in the Vavagedere area in Kurunegala have been recovered. The dog brought by the police traveled about 2 kilometers and found 2 suspicious swords and a wire roll during an inspection carried out in a farm by the police along with the army. They were able to nab 2 suspicious persons. A suspicious letter and several CDs were recovered from a mosque within the Munaragala town. A Maulavi and another suspect were arrested. Meanwhile, a cab used by the army was found near a shop in the town. The color of the cab had been changed. A live hand grenade and 15 live ammunitions were recovered from the house that is under construction in the Velambada area in Udunuwara. There were also several other items including a night vision, videotapes of the National Tawheed Jamaat organization, books and a computer. 2 suspects were taken into custody with regard to this incident. One of the suspects, Haktan Ahmed, is said to be an accomplice of the suspects who demolished a Buddha statue in the Mavanella area. Meanwhile, several materials including videotapes of the National Tawheed Jamaat organization and believed to have been set on fire have been detected from another house. 9 sets of women's clothes and an individual reported to be a member of an extremist group have been taken into custody from the Udatuttiripitiya area in Yakkala based on a tip-off received by the Veeragula police. The suspect is reported to have rented out a room in this house. On to a headline-making story. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has assured that action will be initiated to wipe out ISIS terrorists from Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister made a request from the public to provide information to the defence sectors on anyone who is encouraging terrorism. The Prime Minister made these references joining in an observation tour of the Zion Church in Batticaloa that was devastated in a bomb attack on Easter Sunday. The Prime Minister, after arriving at the Zion Church, inspected the devastation inflicted by the bomb explosion. Premier Wickremesinghe discussed with the Reverend Fathers at length with respect to the reconstruction of the church. Many had thronged the church when the Prime Minister arrived there. The Prime Minister also had discussions with them. Financial donations were handed over on behalf of the dead and those who suffered injuries in the attack. 1 million rupees was paid on behalf of each killed, while 500,000 was handed over on behalf of those who were injured. Thereafter, expressing views to the media, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that all measures would be initiated to eliminate terrorism. Reverend Father Prince of the Sri Lanka Christian Association and parish priest of the Batticaloa Zion Church, Reverend Father Roshan Maheshan, as well as religious leaders and parliamentarians were present on the occasion. 4 foreigners who were staying in the island without visas have been taken into custody. 2 foreigners who were staying in the island without visas were arrested in a raid carried out by the police in the Ukwatte area within the Avisavela police division. The 2 were Nigerian nationals aged 26 and 31 years. Meanwhile, 2 foreigners who were staying in the Sedavatte area within the Grand Pass Police Division without visas have also been taken into custody. They are Pakistani nationals and the Grand Pass Police have taken action to produce them in courts. Today is World Press Freedom Day. This year's theme is Media for Democracy, Journalism and Elections in Times of Disinformation. The United Nations organization declared World Press Freedom Day in the year 1993. Since then, World Press Freedom Day is commemorated on the 3rd of May every year. The objective of protecting media freedom in the world is to show its value and celebrate the World Press Freedom Day. Another objective is to commemorate the murdered journalists while on duty. Last year alone, 95 journalists and media professionals died in bomb attacks or gunfire. Incidents of journalists' killings were also reported in many countries. Meanwhile, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in a message, said that a free press is essential for peace, justice, sustainable development and human rights. No democracy is complete without access to transparent and reliable information. It is the cornerstone for building fair and impartial institutions, holding leaders accountable and speaking truth to power. This is especially true during election seasons, the focus of this year's World Press Freedom Day. You're watching Prime TV News, and still on the local scene, local government institutions in the Sabaragamuwa province have been amalgamated with other state institutions. This was revealed at a progress review meeting held at the Provincial Council premises. Provincial Governor Dhamma Dissanayaka pointed out that all provincial and state institutions working together would be an inducement for the development of the province. The governor further pointed out that this would enable them to achieve their development strategies with the knowledge of all state institutions. A Ranaviru monument erected in memory of Major Vasanta Dinesh Jayavikrama, who sacrificed his life in Mali in between a peacekeeping operation, has been unveiled. Major Vasanta Jayavikrama, affiliated to the 11th Battalion of Sri Lanka Light Infantry, was killed in a bomb attack while engaging in peacekeeping operations in Mali. The monument, erected in the Abeyapura village within the Lankapura Divisional Secretariat Division in Polonnaruwa in his remembrance, was unveiled by Colonel D.N.K. Bandara of the 23rd Battalion. A large gathering, including family members, joined in the occasion. The extremely severe cyclonic storm Fani over West Central Bay of Bengal to the northeast of Sri Lanka, and it is likely to move north and northeastwards while moving away from the island. Hence, the effect from this system to the island will gradually reduce. Strong winds up to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected over the island, particularly in northern, north-central, northwestern, Uva and southern provinces and in Trincomalee districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times over Sabaragamuwa, central, southern, western, Uva and northwestern provinces. Heavy falls of about 100 to 150 millimeters can be expected at some places in the above areas. Showers or thunder showers may occur at several places in eastern and north-central provinces and in the Mannar district. The public, naval and fishing communities are requested to be attentive about the future advisories issued by the Department of Meteorology in this regard. The Met Department said that showers or thunder showers will occur at times in sea areas extending from Puttalam to Pottuville via Colombo and Galle, and heavy showers are likely at some places. Winds will be southwesterly and speed will be 35 to 45 kilometers per hour, and it can increase up to 60 kilometers per hour at times over the sea areas around the island. Wind speed will be 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, and wind speed can increase up to 70 kilometers per hour at times in the deep sea areas from Mannar to Trincomalee via Kankesanture, and in the sea areas extending from Hambantota to Batticaloa via Pottuville. Naval and fishing communities are requested to be vigilant in this regard. A fundamental rights petition filed calling for the issue of an order to take legal action against the Inspector General of Police for not initiating action to prevent the Easter Sunday attacks will be taken up for consideration by the Supreme Court on the 21st of this month. The petition has called to take the relevant legal action based on the Penal Code provisions. The petition has been filed by Janath Vidanage, who is serving as a managing director of the tourism agency. The petitioner has accused that the IGP had been unsuccessful in preventing the bomb explosions despite being apprised of by the intelligence unit. In addition to the IGP, the other respondents cited are the former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando and the Attorney General. However, the Attorney General informed the judiciary that he would not appear on behalf of the respondents. Meanwhile, the judiciary permitted to detain for 90 days the two members of the National Tawhid Jamaat organization arrested for giving publicity for Islamist extremist views. The Colombo Chief Magistrates Court granted this permission to the Kotahena police. These two suspects were arrested according to information received by the Kotahena intelligence sleuths. They were arrested with 12 CDs, a laptop, mobile phones and several electronic appliances. During interrogation, it was revealed that the suspects are residents of Katan Kudi. Loans have so far been released to 715 entrepreneurs through the Turunudiriya Enterprise Loan Scheme. This Turunudiriya loan scheme has been implemented with the intention of further strengthening the national economy by upgrading the small-scale young entrepreneurs. It is being implemented by the Bank of Ceylon under the Enterprise Sri Lanka program. A sum of 294 million rupees had already been issued to 715 entrepreneurs. The highest number of loans had been issued to entrepreneurs within the Western and Sabaragamuwa provinces. This loan scheme is being implemented with the mediation of all divisional and district secretariats. Tourist arrivals have again increased. This has been stated by the Tourism Development Authority. Many tourists from several countries had arrived in Sri Lanka in the past few days, and they claimed that they joined in this visit with keen enthusiasm to enjoy their holidays.
I'm Alberto, I'm Italian, and we are making the tour all around Sri Lanka. Actually, when we arrived, there was the first bomb attack, and at the beginning it was a little bit strange, weird, was dangerous, but day by day we see that everything should be under control. We enjoyed our trip. Today is the last day, and it was nice. People, Sri Lankan people, is very nice, and they make you comfortable, and actually I didn't feel in danger situation ever.
I think Sri Lanka is a nice place. This is the third time we come. We are a big group of 24 people. We were traveling with the tuk-tuk, with the three-wheelie. It was really funny. And it was strange to be here because it's the first time, luckily, we were under attack. We were really close. We were in Negombo. We decided to continue the travel because we know Sri Lankan people is one of the best population in the world.
I'm from Ukraine. I'm a journalist. It's my first time in Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, now there is such a bad situation, and even my mother worried a lot. She told me, no, please don't go, don't go. But now, when I'm sending her pictures and when I'm telling that everything is safe, she also would like to come. And I can say and I can see that everything is very quiet because seems that the government is caring a lot. Because on our way from Colombo, we saw many police and they are checking, they are looking, and I feel secure. And especially because now in Ukraine we also have, we have a little bit bad situation and war, but I can say for sure that the Ukraine is not same situation, but in Sri Lanka I feel even safer. So
I'm from Italy. I work for several magazines. I'm a sustainable development manager, and I'm here in Sri Lanka traveling with a press group, and we will be around here 10 days. I've been first in Colombo 2 days after the terrorist attack. I was very impressed about the situation there because it changed very much. I was here this summer, just a few months ago, and they could travel very easy. Was no any problem around. The people were very kind and free.
I'm working for the travel magazine. I am first class, and we are glad that invited by the Tourism Sri Lanka to come here, and we want to tell the rest that the situation here is very safe and very fun to visit.
Army Commander Lieutenant General Mahesh Senanayake says that Sri Lanka has forgotten the 30-year-old war while enjoying the dividends of peace and harmony. The Army Chief expressed this view in an interview with the BBC.
From what you've learned so far, does it seem that this was a series of attacks that were plotted and planned locally within Sri Lanka, or by figures who are still with the Islamic State group in Syria, who were centrally trying to coordinate this group?
By looking at the pattern of operation and the places that the leadership has traveled. So there has to be some outside involvement of some leadership or instructions.
So who's to blame for this failure to share intelligence, do you think?
This is not a blame game as such, but that the chief of the army is, I believe that everybody who is responsible for intelligence gathering and preparation of these plans and who are responsible for the national security are to be blamed, including the political hierarchies as well.
And why do you think Sri Lanka was targeted?
I could give an answer like this. Too much of freedom, too much of peace for last 10 years. People forget what happened for 30 years. And people are enjoying peace and they neglected security.
And now, going forward, can you confidently say to people around the world that Sri Lanka is a safe place for international tourists?
Sri Lanka is a country which fought for 26 years. The cases we faced at that time was more difficult and more terror than what we are facing today. We are deployed on the ground to give confidence to the public and ensure there is no violence or escalation of communal riots in this country. Have trust on the armed forces and the police of this country to bring normalcy as soon as possible.
Prime Business is up next. For more information, visit www.itnews.lk. Many thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.